Can you liken what Fields and Fromm are going through to your first year in Gainesville, and kind of give us what maybe Fields is thinking?
Yeah, it's hard a little bit to a certain extent because I don't know what's being said to them as far as playing time, reps. It was pretty clear with me and Chris, and that really helped. I think Coach Meyer did a good job of, you knew, hey, okay, we're in this third down situation, we're going to this. If it's red zone, we're going to this, you know? And so then there was a few more based on how the game was going that you would kind of have to just be ready for and figure out. It's been interesting to see how he's been used. It's probably to a certain extent a little bit hard for him to get going, but I think, you know, if he's going to be effective, he's going to have to threaten a defense, especially Florida's, because Florida is so aggressive defensively that for him to be able to have running room, he's got to threaten them, and so he's got to show that he can make those throws downfield. And I think he can, but you've got to tell the defense that you can too, and he hasn't done that. So I think for the next step for Georgia is that, they let him throw it once or twice.
Right. Were you good with being a package guy your freshman year? Obviously, you had NFL aspirations and played in the league, but were you good knowing as a freshman that, hey, I'm going to be the package guy this year and Chris is going to be that?
I wanted to do whatever I could to help the team, and I wanted to improve the team, make the team better, and you never know what was going to happen. There might be some games where you wouldn't have as much of an impact on the game, but then LSU, you score every touchdown, and so you wouldn't know how that was going to go. And for me, it was about earning respect, helping my teammates, and then given the opportunity, whenever I wanted to change the game, and if that was, I'm on a counter play and there's a safety that gets in my way, I'm trying to impose my will to change the culture of our team and the fans, and so it was, if I had one play, I'm going to make the most of it. If I had 20, I'm going to make the most of that. And I guess my mentality was, I'm going to earn every snap I get, and then I'm going to earn the next one, and coach is going to have to put me back out here. That was my mentality, because of trying to impact the game. And I think, that's something that Justin should try to have. I feel like he has that confidence to be able to, when he gets a play, hey, listen, if you have one play and it's a running play and you go make something happen, you know what? Kirby's going to say, all right, go back in there. And that's, I think, as a player, you have to have that confidence in you, and you have to be able to make the people around you better. And I think that's the most important trait that a quarterback can have.
What makes Mullen such a good play caller? Very few coaches have that gift where he seems that he can just get that rhythm going. And
why I think first, before it comes to play calling, he just understands his players and the other team, and so I think just kind of getting a gauge on their strengths and weaknesses, how a game's going, kind of the feel of it, and then being able to say, okay, I've seen this, I think they're going to give me this on the next third down, and hey, Timmy, look out for this, be prepared for this. That takes a lot of work and film, and he's very analytical and really smart that way. But then I think he also gets a really good feel for the game and the opposing play caller and understanding what's going to happen. And I think you look this year, and a couple times when he's dialed up a trick play, it's worked. Mississippi State, LSU, 2 huge plays, only touchdown in Mississippi State. And those were great calls, and it's not like he's necessarily going to walk in with 20 trick plays, but he'll walk in with a few of them at the right time. He's pretty good at calling them.
Tim, are you worried about nerves? You've been in their shoes. You've got young people there on the big stage. We've got 2 top 10 teams playing in a neutral site.
Yeah, 100%. This game brings out your nerves. I was probably as nervous in this game as I was in any game, but for me it was a little different. Growing up here and just everything that this meant to me, it was a big one. But it's big, when you drive over the Hart Bridge and you see all the tailgaters and you see all the red and black and the orange and blue, it does something to you, and it kind of makes you get crazy butterflies, and you get anxious and you get nervous and you tighten up, and it's how some players respond and love it, and some players don't. And I loved it. It was just, when I would get off the bus, I could barely contain myself. It's 3 hours before the game. It's an unbelievable feeling, and that's why I love games like this. I love it about college football. It's just there's not a lot like it, and so yeah, Do nerves play a role? 100%. I think they do in every game, but this, I think, magnifies it.
Let's go on a personal note for you, a Jacksonville hometown boy back in the River City, rooting on the Gators, right? Obviously, I mean, tell me about this. Tell me about your feelings coming back.
Well, I love being back here. This is home, and it's this game means a lot to me. I can remember year after year after year, I would finish playing a game at Lakeshore, and then we'd hop in the car. Usually it'd be the second quarter of the game. We would drive over, we would fly, try to find a parking spot, and then we'd get tickets of people walking out of the stadium, and we would buy their tickets and go sit in the top. And I remember so many years it was raining, and so me, my dad, my brothers would sit up there and watch the game, and it was amazing. I probably one of my favorite memories of my football career in general was, being able to, all those, times leading up to it, but then being able to break Herschel Walker's record against Georgia. Crazy the odds of that, and then being able to keep that ball and give it to my dad. So this game means a lot to me and my family.
Is it fair to ask a Gator fan, but I'm going to ask you, you can only win one, Florida State or Georgia, which one's it going to be?
To be honest with you, if you asked me growing up, I would have said Florida State. Just because that was the time when Florida really ruled this game, and Florida State was a battle. I mean, started with Charlie Ward and Warwick Dunn and Winky and everybody in the battles and how they hit Danny and, all the battles with that. I would have said FSU, but then my sophomore year when they stormed the field and, did all that, this one got pretty big. This one got pretty big.
What would you give to be back?
He said he's a professional.
That's a bulldog. Yeah.
What would you give to be out there one more time?
I had my run, and it was awesome, and I wouldn't change it for the world. This is their opportunity. This is their chance, and it's special. It's special for all those guys, and special for Dan to be back and experience this. And you can be politically correct and say every game matters and it's the next game. It's just not true. Some mean just a little bit more, and this is one of them. It just mean a little bit more than the rest.
Have you ever been in a situation where CBS is here, national game, ESPN's game day is here, SEC Nation? Has it ever been a place where all of them were here?
No, this is the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in the same places for like the national championship because there's one game.
Yeah.
But this is the first time that there's a regular season game that game day and Nation have been in the same spot. And I think it's awesome. I think it just shows the bigness of this game. And I also don't think there's a lot of other big games around college football this week, but this is just the magnitude of this game, the atmosphere, how exciting this is. I just think there's really few places like this. I mean, Texas, Oklahoma is really cool. There's some other places you can go where it's really special, but there's few that rival this.
Tim, you're an author, you're a movie producer, you're a baseball player, you're a broadcaster. Am I missing anything?
I don't know.
Anything new on the horizon for you that we need to know about?
I don't know. Always working on something. So you know me. Just like
not to mention your charity endeavors as well. So I mean,
this is the most important thing in my life.
Right. Tell me a little bit though, quickly about baseball. Where are you with that? And I mean, you were looking like you were gonna get called up to the big leagues.
Thank you. I was feeling really good.
Yeah.
After surgery, I healed up really nicely. I'm feeling great. I'm already back training.
Sure you are.
I'm feeling better than ever. By far, and I'm just excited to make a run here soon.
Tim, what do you see from Jake Fromm? Obviously, he's had some up and down performances.
Jake Fromm?
Yes.
About ups and downs.
Yeah, just your thoughts about where he's at, what he needs to do to get back on track.
I think Jake's a really good quarterback. I think he's underrated. I think he had a really tough week against LSU. I don't think that they necessarily game planned it well. I think he got a little bit shell-shocked. I think he'll bounce back from that. He's handled big moments, so I wouldn't say that the moment of LSU got to him. I'd say that a really good defense that dialed up 11 pressures and hit him in the face quite a bit. And those 11 pressures, he had a QBR of 1 and completed 2 passes. And I think that Florida's going to watch that film, and they're going to say, you know what, out of LSU's 11 pressures, they worked. And for a very aggressive Todd Grantham defense, they're going to pressure him a lot. He's going to have to throw the ball while getting hit and make plays. And I think that you're going to see a few wide open receivers for Georgia and a couple big plays, and then you're going to see him get hit and could be turnovers. And so I think it's going to be that type of pressure where it's Florida's defense is kind of putting it all out there, because that's kind of, I think, their MO right now, and they're seeing it work for LSU.
Florida and LSU's offense is very similar with the chunk yardage, screen passes. Can Georgia get caught by that 2 games in a row, and if Ryan and Scarlett can carry that load?
Well, I think that that both will adjust from seeing that on film. I think you'll see a different Georgia team. I do think that this is a huge game, especially depending on the weather, for the Florida running backs too. I don't think you're going to take over a game like this. It's just too physical and balanced. But to be able to control the clock, keep the defense fresh, not put all the pressure on Felipe, I think that's really important, especially because Georgia has some pretty good defensive backs. You just don't want to keep throwing it up there to them. So I think to be able to get it in second, sixth, third, manageable is huge. Right. So I do think, Scarlett and P. Ryan and Pierce are huge in this game. And then also just break tackles. This is a game where you're not always going to have the perfect play call. Baller's got a ball. Like, you got to break some tackles, and someone's got to step up and kind of be that dude for Florida in the backfield, and I think that'll be big too.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks, Timmy.
Yeah.
Good to see you.